Hey there everybody, and welcome back to this next episode of Skylines. As always, my name is Newleo, and I have a nice cup of coffee here to get me going for this episode. So, I'm back everyone. So unfortunately I was a little late in getting this episode out, because I had some computer issues one week, and then next week I was actually sick for an entire week, so it's kind of put me behind a little bit. But we are actually just hit on 100 subscribers, which is actually probably even more when this video comes out. I think we're like 130 because of that delay. So it's really awesome to finally hit that milestone. I know it's not a huge milestone, but in considering how big YouTube is, I definitely think it's something worth celebrating and worth making a note of as well. So I just want to say, thank you to all the subscribers. Especially the ones that have been there from the beginning, because I always like to go back and see who's been there from the start as well. And there's definitely a few names that I recognise throughout the month as well. And yeah, even when I did my very first series, which was all started like my first City Skylines one and my first Minecraft one, which is what actually got me into YouTube from the beginning, was Minecraft. And then I kind of saw City Skylines and things that like Flux Trans were doing and Street Toast were doing, and so I thought, I didn't even realize you could do creative sort of building as well. So I kind of moved on to that, and I really enjoyed it, and it seems like people enjoy more as well. There's definitely more views as well, so I thought, well, that's a win-win situation for everyone as well. So yeah, just want to say thank you again for being subscribed, and hope you guys will stick around for a while. I'm not really sure what to do for a 100 subscriber special. This was pretty fun, so I guess that's kind of cool. But what I have done is actually made a Twitter account, which you can see on screen now. And basically, because I don't sort of release regularly like other City Skylines, so at least I can kind of put some updates on there, or if I make something that doesn't make it on a video, I can show an image of that as well. But just gotta keep you guys in the loop, especially if I do get delayed, for a couple of weeks as well, so you can know what's going on as well. But it'd also be nice to also get more integrated into the City Skylines community as well. There's definitely seems like some really cool people. I'd love to sort of be more involved with like $2.20, who's another Australian City Skylines YouTuber, and there's definitely others as well, which would be awesome to sort of be more involved with as well. But maybe that'll come eventually. But for now, with the amount of subscribers I've got, I'm still pretty happy, and I'm still enjoying it as well. It's a really good hobby to have as well. So regardless of whether it's 1,000 or 100, I'm still having a lot of fun doing it. So yeah, I'm really happy about 100 subscribers. I didn't think I'd ever really get 100. Everyone's like, oh, YouTube's so big, and how is anyone even gonna sort of know who I am, let alone find me? So it's pretty cool that happened as well. That being said, we're still pretty new into this series, so we've still got a lot of episodes to come. So I'm definitely going to keep going and aim to be around for quite a while, until this doesn't become very fun. But I think with City Skylines it's very hard to do, because there's just so much you can do, and with all the props and mods coming out, there's always a new way to tackle things as well, a new theme to do, new ideas to try, and there's probably not even enough time to try them all. So yeah, that's kind of my plans for the rest of this series. So that being said, so let's get on to the actual episode, because that's why you're all here. So this week I wanted to do a rail yard, as you can probably tell from the very start. And I wanted to do this one a little bit further away from the city, but not so much that it was like a separate township that I've been doing every 6 episodes. And the reason why is I was reading on, I think it was the City Skylines Reddit forum, someone put a post about how cities are developed. I'm not saying that a lot of cities start up as small towns, but there's usually other small townships nearby, and they all sort of grow and kind of merge into one city. So that's kind of why I wanted to move a little bit away from the city and sort of have this natural merge between two sort of developing areas, so that I guess it adds a bit more character to the city. So it's not like it's still like a planned city, but not like super planned out. So, like for example, the connection between this rail yard and the main city will probably change over time as I develop it, and I think that's a really nice thing to have, just because it adds a bit more character and sort of more of a, I guess, a story behind the city itself as well. So that's kind of why I wanted to do that. But I also just wanted to do a train yard because I've always kind of liked them, but I've never really had a decent shot at it. I tried one on my very first ever series for this, and it was okay. It wasn't the best, but this one has definitely turned out a lot better than that one, and so I was super happy with it, and just like it was a lot of fun to do as well. So that's kind of, I'm glad that that's all worked out. Especially for like a special episode like this, it was nice to have a really fun build to do as well. So it's I just clicked there. So it's turning out to be a pretty good episode overall as well. So you'll notice as well the little I don't know what it is, like a train port or like a cargo terminal. Cargo terminal. It's like blank. There's no buildings in it. There's actually on the Steam Workshop there is a blank cargo terminal template that is, I think it was intended to be designed for asset creators, but I thought, well, given that we've got all these tools and stuff like that, like be able to clip it, you've got move it and all that sort of thing, I figured why not make my own custom cargo terminal in the game, because I don't really like the vanilla one. It's not terribly great, and you can see here I'm sort of playing around with things. I'm not going to do it in the time lapse. I want to do that part like in the live version, but I was just kind of having a look at different ways to like design it up and what buildings I can put there and stuff like that. So I kind of want to put like kind of like a garage thing where the cars are coming in and out, so it looks like they're going into something and then coming out, and like placing other buildings here and there as well. Just because like the vanilla one I didn't quite like as well, and now that I've got the ability to really customize, I thought, you know, it's a perfect excuse to try that out as well. And then I'm also doing some road markings, which I really enjoy. I think it's great, especially with the Traffic Manager President Edition, or the new one that was done for mass transit. It gives you a lot of options to sort of customize the roads and set custom lanes and stuff like that, and sort of guide traffic where it should be going as well. So it's really versatile for that, which is super fun as well. So I sort of spent a bit of time doing some lanes for that, making like the split, the off ramps and the on ramps, and sort of merge lanes and all that sort of stuff as well. So you'll see that a little later on in the video as well. But right now we're doing like little office things. So this will be like where everyone sort of does the office work for this particular part of the industry. So for the import and export and some of the other warehouses and industrial sort of things that we'll be doing more towards the actual railway area, so where all the trains are parked and where all the lines split off for trains to unload other stuff or have maintenance done. And actually use like there's an actual maintenance building that was made on the workshop ages back, so I'm using that as well as an actual maintenance building for that as well. So that's really cool. Again, doing some more markings with this, which it was a roundabout you would have seen before, but I didn't quite like it because it kind of looked a little clunky and didn't. So I thought, okay, I want to try and streamline it a bit more, make it a bit more elegant. So rather than having to sort of slip lane into a roundabout, it's just a slip lane that goes straight into the actual main road. So if you needed to do a U-turn, you have to sort of come out and sort of go all the way around this little looping interchange area to get back to your office, unless you could sort of turn earlier on as well. But again, it gave me like a good opportunity to sort of do some different stuff with line markings. Added some sort of like kind of like a rest area on the far left lane, so like for trucks that might be waiting to pick up supplies for an incoming like cargo train or something like that. So you can see I'm sort of setting out the lines for that, and I'll start putting double lines spaced about the length of a standard truck with a trailer as well. So that'll be going in there in a sec, and I'm going to make like a proper resting area for like trucks that are going to be parked sort of more long term, which is going to be in that middle section of the loop area that I did. You would have seen me like put a whole bunch of pavement stuff and I don't know if I'll do that live. It depends how much time I have as well, but it'll definitely be done this episode. And then you can see here I'm sort of having a look at where the cars enter and exit this template cargo hub, so I can sort of make proper entrance. That's a bit Huey for a second. Entrance and exit areas as well. And now we're getting on to probably my favourite part of this particular speed build, which was doing all the industrial areas for all the trains and stuff like that. And I really liked how this turned out in the end. I made a lot of use of like the terrain painter, and then this new, well, it's not super new, but it's a mod that allows you to paint decal or put decals down that have the same texture as your theme textures, but it's got more of a like a fading in and out effect. So with like the terrain painter tool, you would notice it'd be very, very fine, sort of blotchy, I guess, paintbrush, whereas this one kind of has it fade out, so you can sort of make a smoother transition between different parts of your terrain. And you'll see kind of what I mean, like when I first put, like right now you can see it's all very sharp edges, and then basically I used this decal to sort of smooth it all out, make it look a little bit more natural, and it does make this whole area look a lot nicer and a lot more realistic as well in the end for that one. So again, we're just putting in all the warehouses where all the workers would work and stuff like that. Getting some car parking options sorted out. You'll notice that my daytime sort of keeps going to nighttime because for some reason my I don't know what it is, like the mod that lets you control the time of day and speed is not working for me, so I have to keep like resetting it to morning every time the sun sets. So you'll see that happen every now and then. I sort of stay fairly on top of it. But here I'm just painting down the sort of rough terrain for the rail yard, and you can see it's quite blotchy at the moment, and that's what I was talking about with using the decals to come in and sort of smooth it once I've put down all that terrain detailing and stuff like that as well. So we got most of the warehouses down here. I'm just sort of making some little access points for like utility vehicles to get in. So if someone needs to do some repairs on the track or need to get to a train, they could sort of do that as well. And then I put in a second cargo terminal because I think it would make sense to have like another small one here, where all the actual sort of warehouses and maybe factories are as well. So if there was sort of supplies that maybe need to go more direct to a warehouse before we're shipped off, they can sort of do that through here and not through the main one, to sort of not clog up the traffic, because these things get a lot of traffic, especially as things grow. Like as when I start getting more industrial, not industrial, but more residential and more commercial, we're going to see a lot more imports and a lot more exports coming in and out of the city. So that's going to cause a lot of traffic strain as well. As you can see now, that train came in and already, a whole bunch of cars and trucks just like piled straight out of there as well. So here we're just kind of getting the trains. I made this more difficult than I needed to be. I started plopping down individually, and then realised that I had the prop line tool. So I thought, I should probably use that instead, and sort of save some time there as well. Again, coming back, so I'm doing a lot of jumping around, just kind of as I think of ideas, bouncing off. I did like a little toll booth, not a toll booth, like a gate, security gate as well. And then we came back and did some more of the trains. Now here I'm sort of getting a little courtyard set up for this particular warehouse, so like where they do work and like house supplies and stuff like that as well, just to add a bit of detailing. I did some more natural bushes and trees because I sort of wanted to kind of get a slightly overgrown feel, but also get a sense of what it looks like with all the foliage in place, so I can sort of see what the finished product's going to kind of come out as. I added in some logs there you would have seen on the floor. that might have been left there, because my idea is kind of, and you'll see it with the train just at the top there, is I kind of want to make it like this is predominantly like exporting like timber and stuff like that, just because we're in a very like sort of forestry kind of pine templated area. I kind of want that to be the sort of the main import export sort of option for this particular city. So that's going to kind of be what it is as well, because there's a lot of trees all over the place as well. So that's kind of my plan for that, and sort of expand on that further as we do more industrial areas. Might have like some areas that like focus on maybe oil and some other natural resources, but predominantly it's just going to be like pine trees and stuff like that as well. And so here we're just sort of doing some more texturing. I think now is when I start maybe using some of the decals. Not quite, maybe not yet, but it's getting very close as well. And the other thing I want to do is also add some like shops and like not like a cafe, but like a sort of like a like a takeaway kind of burger place that you would normally have these particular areas. Because I've always seen like when I've driven around industrial areas for whatever reason, there's usually like a little pie shop or something like that. Sometimes you even have like catering vans that actually come around and like deliver, well not deliver, but they sell like basically like a mobile cafeteria that the workers can like buy like meals from, which is pretty cool actually. I think that's a great idea to save them having to sort of drive anywhere, especially if they're in a place that doesn't have a lot of options for eating things and stuff like that as well. Again, getting these sort of like courtyard areas that people are working in, sort of getting some decals in and starting to make this sort of ground area look a little bit nicer. So here I'm using those decals I was talking about, the ones that look sort of like merging the textures together, make it fade in and sort of transition a bit nicer as well. And that sort of really makes this whole area look a lot nicer, less, I guess, jarring sort of transition between textures as well. And then it's just kind of detailing some of these courtyard areas. I made like I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this, but I sort of made like a stacked container area, because it kind of makes sense to have it, but I'm not like 100% on it, because it does it looks a little out of place. But I think maybe it's just because it's stacked too high. I probably just need to have like stacks of like one or two and in rows, because it's sort of, I don't think the need for that many containers would be super high. That might be more for like a larger port. You'd probably have that. I mean, you see it all the time as well. So I think that is would make more sense to have that in that particular circumstance, which is not what we have now. And then you can see a little shot of the progress at the moment while it saves. At this point I really like how it turns out. Like I kind of like how everything sort of splits off as well. And it was nice to sort of to pull this off quite well too. Again, doing some more detailing work with the sort of yard areas. And this is kind of interesting. I was thinking like it'd be cool to have like kind of like a loading platform here. So I had these things which were like concrete boxes. I had a bit of trouble finding them, so I was trying to look at alternatives. But I do end up finding them later on. And they're like concrete boxes, like big concrete, massive cubes that you could actually like slide into the ground and lower without pushing the terrain down as well. So it works really well for making like different height platforms that these like storage areas and different warehouses might use for their own distribution methods as well. So rather than using the main terminals, they sort of have their own like specific company-based one as well. So you'll see that come into play, and I think it looks really cool having that sort of custom loading terminal in there as well. Again, doing some work on these. This one, a larger. This is actually the maintenance shed for the train. So I kind of want to have areas for people to park, and maybe like 1 or 2 trucks to come in if they need to sort of bring like spare parts for a train and or a carriage. Because I mean, you think like the wheels and the bases, they're all pretty huge things. So you probably need a decent amount of space to bring in the suppliers to replace parts, or even just to work on them, like do some maintenance repairs and stuff. If you need to sort of do it outside of the actual shed. Here I was trying to sort of get some driveways that went into each warehouse. Some of them I can't do too close because it kind of messes up. You would have seen that before. It just kind of messes up the connections, and I got like, I think it was like 5 little like street lamps that were kind of bunched up together, which looked really stupid. So for some I just had to go with one just to make it not look so retarded. Adding in some nice slip lanes to make sort of getting around the area a little bit nicer, a little bit easier. Adding some more foliage as well. Adding in some security toll booths because it kind of makes sense to have a little bit of security instead of have like a checkpoint, so that people can, the right people can get in. And that was it. So we'll get on to the live version, and we'll do up some more detailing on the warehouses and the actual cargo terminal. Hey there everybody, and welcome back to the live version. So I'm doing this a couple of weeks after I've just done this time lapse of this area. Again, just because of the issues I've had with a couple of weeks, but back into it again, which is good. So what I want to do is the last part is actually finish off this kind of loading bay for our trains. So what I want to do, and I've sort of had a few ideas about this, is kind of get basically, so what I'm using is this default template for the cargo train terminal with nothing on it. And I'm going to basically make my own sort of custom train terminal, just because I'm not a huge fan of the default one. So what I might do is I'll start off with something kind of like this, just for now. I'm going to use the move tool to move it back, and then what I'll use is, I found these sort of trolley bays, which are kind of almost the right height for the vehicles. Basically it's like the shopping cart center, but they're kind of just big enough that we could sort of use them as entry points. Now they're not big enough for the semi, so what I'm probably going to do is plop these down, raise them up, and then kind of use some concrete walls to kind of bridge the gap between the floor and the start of these ones. So I'm going to try and line this up pretty well. I don't want it to be too long, so let's put one there, and then I think one next to it. Maybe like that's going to work. I think I'll just kind of adjust this a little bit. Awesome. So I've got like a little entrance. I do still want a little barrier in between. I think that one is what I'm after. And it looks, or maybe something like that, just in the middle there. So it's like a separator. Let's bring it in. Bring it into there for now. We'll get these out of the way. That kind of works pretty well so far, which is good. And then I probably need to move these a little bit, but I could move the entire thing, but that's fine. So maybe if we just get some cones, and let's just pop a couple down here, so like, just like that. Just kind of marking off where people are going. And I think I'm going to need some fences to section this off. So let's get actually, I kind of want a gate for now. That would make sense. So let's get this gate. Is that going to be wide enough? It's not going to fit two, but if we just use like one either side, I think that's probably going to be fine. So let's do that one there. I'll swing this around, and let's just kind of connect these up in the middle. Kind of made them overlap a little bit. Cool. And then we'll get the fence. Actually, you know what? If we just kind of rotate this around like one complete 180, because that kind of looks a bit more like a loading dock, sort of. You might have trucks coming out to the train, and then if we connect that one up to, well, Jesus, kind of up to there,
and then if we sort of push it in, I think that works a little bit better actually. But I need to print this out to sort of kind of there to match up with that one. There we are. Yeah, so one of these cubes here, I spent ages trying to find it, but I realized I've used it somewhere else, so I can just copy it, which is silly. So if we just raise this up to, where does this drop down? Like that. And then if we rotate it to maybe something like that, could look nice. It looks a little bit more deliberate, a little bit more connected as well. And then I might even put a separate entranceway that kind of runs along here into this area here. It's probably a good idea. So let's do that now. It's everything snapped. So let's do that one to there. Oops. And then we can just kind of move this across so it kind of curves into that one there. It's perfect. And then we just move these fences across a little bit. And then kind of use these to just cover these up a little bit. So let's do, I want to leave that one, put one there, one there. Awesome, perfect. And now we've got like a proper car park entrance into that one. I'll probably come back and like add asphalt as well, so it looks more like a park as well. But that's pretty good. Now I probably need to put like another warehouse on the side somewhere. So I'm going to go back to here. Alright, so just added those roads there and just sort of tweak down, put some nice little stairs here so that people can sort of take, I guess, crates and stuff up. Because I figured maybe you could do like a small loading zone here. In fact, I'm just tempted to kind of maybe spin this around a little bit. So like, if we sort of had this come to there, like that, just kind of make it spin around like that, so it's like a little drop off and turn around spot as well. So let's grab that one and just kind of make this a little bit different, and then if I do that, just see if I can select this node that's here, which I can't, but that's fine for now. That kind of looks quite nice as well. And then I kind of want to, so I felt like a little car park would be good here as well, because you've kind of got one here which is more going to be for trucks and stuff like that, but I think more for this sort of office building we'd have like another car park here, and then you've got your excess car parking here as well. So I'm not going to have it here because it's too many intersections too close. I might maybe make it start from here as a one-way road and sort of have it curve in like that and come back out. So hopefully this works reasonably well. So let's go, and this comes to there like an off ramp. Gonna make this spin around. It's not gonna look great at the moment, which is fine. So let's go to there, and then kind of fix this up if we can. So we have that, and then I'm gonna bring this one into a. Let's have one of these ones. I think is gonna work well. So let's bring this one around to there, and then maybe just kind of like cul-de-sac to there. And then what we can do now is make this join up to, oops, that didn't snap. Make this join up to that one there, and then make another one come out from here, kind of like alongside here, and this will kind of act as like another another slip lane out as well. Just turn that one off and perfect. So that's kind of what I'm after as well. Probably need to tweak the roads a little bit just to kind of make it smoother, so sort of bring this a little bit closer. Cool, so something like that. We can put some trees in there as well, and then we just need to sort out a car park. Yeah, I think a 2x2 is going to work fine, but if we stick one there and one there, I think that'll work fine as well. And if we sort of line this up with the building, bring it back a bit, kind of move this across, move this to there, and then just kind of straighten this out like that. It's going to be good. Perfect. Might even just kind of move this back a little bit. Like that. Perfect. Awesome. So we've got like a nice little entrance there. I put some trees along here. So here we go, like planters. And then need to fill in probably this with concrete. Just to about, I think there's good. Maybe just fill in these parts here. Alright everybody, but I think that's going to do it for this episode because I'm running really low on time for how long this episode is, but as you can see I've just gone off camera and kind of touched up all the stuff that we did in the live version, like so I got the base read and just went and did a whole bunch of detailing. I really like how it turned out. I sort of added this nice little kind of like a sort of sub-employee parking for maybe the warehouses. They may go there to park or maybe have a break or something like that. And then just kind of detailing these sort of areas, making like another sort of secondary unloading and loading spot for these warehouses when they come off the train. Just adding all the crates and stuff like that. I really kind of like how this works, using the wide roads and then putting the pavement decals on top of that just to cover it up. Again, adding more to this entrance area. I really like how this turns out as well. It's not quite matched up with the cars because they were originally coming out where these were, and then it's kind of shifted a little bit, so I might need to change that a little bit. So you can see those sort of clips through here. Then just sort of finer touches on the car parking, and then this sort of nice little area here as well with the sort of more formal employee entrance with their logo SB. I don't know what that could be for, but and then just kind of the back stuff here. But yeah, look, I really love how this turned out. Just to sort of make your own custom train terminal, I think it looks really cool. A lot better than the vanilla, if I do say so myself. Especially having it attached to this big building. But that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks again for watching. Hopefully the next episode won't be as long. Anyway, thanks guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. See ya.